Good morning. Do you get leads from a form on your website? Do you then spend ages or a long time copying and pasting from an email and getting them into your CRM system? Well, there is an easier way with Web to Lead, the Web to Lead feature in Workbooks. That's Web and then the number 2, then Lead in Workbooks. So good morning. My name is Tim Wilmot, joined by my colleague Peter Johnson. We're part of Wizard Systems, a leading independent CRM solutions supplier of systems like Workbooks. And we help out mainly small and medium-sized organizations improve their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity through the use of applications like Workbooks. So thanks for joining us today for our Workbooks training session. One of our regular series of short Workbooks presentations focusing on different topics around Workbooks. And this morning, we're going to cover the Web to Leads feature that's built into Workbooks. You've got it already with Workbooks, but a great way of, if you're getting leads from your website, a great way of getting them into Workbooks quickly and automatically, and then working on those leads. Now, this presentation will be about quarter of an hour's duration, just really an overview of this feature, not meant to be in-depth training. There can be lots of other add-on options, the way that you manage this process. In my company, Wizard Systems, we offer lots of other consultancy or training options if you want to explore that with us. The audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel. And Peter and myself will do our best to answer those towards the end. And this event is being recorded. For those of you listening live, after the event, you will get an email from our system with a link to the recording, a link in email. You can play that back as many times as you want to, and it'll be up on our YouTube channel as well. So let's get started. Quick mention about Wizard Systems. We are an independent CRM solutions provider of leading solutions like Workbooks. We've been doing this a long time. We've implemented well over 3,000 CRM implementations all over the UK and further afield. And we offer the total service around Workbooks, the product itself, implementation, training, and help desk support. Okay, so let's get into Workbooks. Going to pass over to my colleague Peter now, and he will take you through Web to Lead.
Okay, good morning, Tim. Hopefully you can hear me okay and see my screen.
Yep.
Just checking which screen you can see, actually. You see my Workbooks demo data? Yeah, great. So,
we're working at our different home locations at the moment, so we had to do a quick changeover. Yeah, Jay Palmer, you're in Workbooks.
Great, thank you. Good morning to everybody. That means everybody else can hear and see my screen, which is great. So let's have a look at this Web to Lead. So as Tim described, this is a method for having a form on your website to collect information, an inquiry, a new inquiry, that type of thing, where when somebody fills in that form, they fill all their details in, choose submit at the bottom, and on many websites that you can build yourself, certainly, and get others to build for you on your behalf, those web forms generally, if you don't have something like this feature, will send you an email, and you can get the email, you take the details, you probably copy and paste that into your CRM system, and then start qualifying, communicating with these people. So we're going to miss out a few steps there, because if you do it in the way that I'm going to show you next, you can host a web form on your website, which when somebody visits that and fills in the details, it actually creates a record automatically in your Workbooks account. And of course, then if you wanted to, you can inform people by way of a few other methods in terms of letting them know that there's a new web form, a new web inquiry come in as a lead. If I go to my leads landing page here, you can see I've got today's web leads. I've got a couple of these. I've just tried a couple this morning just to make sure it's all operating as expected. You can see here I've got a couple of web leads, and I can open it up and see the details. Now, these are the details that somebody's filled in on the website. So a typical form for that is generated and customized according to your requirements. But you do have a little bit of setup to do within Workbooks in the first instance. So if I click on Start here, the area is in configuration, done by your administrator, or if you have the capabilities to get to this area, you can do this. And the feature we're looking for is under the email and integration area. Down here, we've got web to lead, and you can see here I've already done one form, but I'm going to create another. One of the benefits of this area is that you can have many forms running at any one time. So what that means is you might have many websites, you could have different forms on different sites, and those are all incoming details into your workbook system with perhaps marginally different information. You might have a source field that's filled in of where you're getting this information from. You might have agents that work on your behalf and host a web form for you. So when you get an inquiry, it comes to you, and then you can react to those agents accordingly. I have also seen these very often. Back in the day, as you know, we're in lockdown at the moment. In 2020, they used to have on-site events. So if you're at an event, you could be filling in this form on a tablet and uploading it to your Workbooks account. So let's have a look at how you set this up. So if I click on this new sales lead key, what this does, it creates a unique identifier, so this form knows which Workbooks account to load these forms into. The other thing that you're going to do when creating a key is decide at this point, when the new lead is created, who or which queue it is assigned to. So I've already got a queue in here called web leads, and I'm going to choose it as created by a hidden user here called automation. So that any new leads created are created by a user called automation. Once I've done that, I'm going to choose save, and you can see this unique key. You don't really need to use this in any way unless your web designer is creating a very custom form. You can still get those forms to populate workbooks by using this API key, but fairly irrelevant at this point. But what I'm going to do is, having done this, I'm going to download the sample form that it gives me that I can then customize. So if I choose this form option, you can see here that if I now open this form, this is the sample form, very kind of basic at this level. You can use this form to customize whatever form development tool you use, HTML development software of any sort, editor, or you pass this to your HTML or your web design person that takes care of that. Now, if I were to open the file, I can open it, or I can send them just the HTML form that I've saved in my downloads folder. So I would suggest you customize this a little bit, get rid of the fields that you don't want them to see. I've actually done one on here already, so I'm just going to save and close that. So this previous one I just looked at this morning. If I go back to my desktop, a second here. So I've got this sample lead form. So you can see here, if I bring that across, actually, let's have a look at this form. You can see here, this is just the same form, but I've done a bit of customization. I've got rid of some fields. I've added a bit of style so they all look nice and neat, a little logo at the top and so forth. But the idea of this is the one that would be uploaded to your website or even a device of some sort. So you could just very much create and add information in here. So if I go in here, Harry Lewis Job title, let's make him manager. Ooh. His job role within the business, IT manager. His telephone number, I'll just put a number in there. Email here at testingit.com. We're going to call this company Testing IT. Let's put him in IT and telecommunications industry, and his country is the United Kingdom. So I've just decided how much information I'd like to collect. Of course, you can have any field in here that relates to your Workbooks lead record. Once they filled that in, they would choose submit. You can have different messages. You can put this in the HTML code in the background. So again, a little bit of customization to that form. You can change the message on success. And then if I go back to my Workbooks system, and if I refresh this today's leads area, you should see, here we go, Harry Lewis in the system, ready to see, ready to use, and it's filled in all of the information, his job title, role, industry, and all of those bits of information that we filled in on that web form. So it's really quick and easy to create the code and a sample form that you can either edit yourself or pass to your web developer to host and pop onto your website, and instantly it's using Workbooks to track those leads incoming. Good. So really nice and easy, a quick and simple one this morning, Tim.
No, thanks, Peter. As you can see, very straightforward to do. This is just to repeat. This is included with Workbooks. It's just that bit of setup that you've got to contemplate. And if you know HTML, or you have an application for editing HTML, or you have a web designer, you can create a really nice sort of professional looking form going beyond what the basic form that Workbooks gives you. So if you've got any questions around this feature, we'd be happy to answer those. So pop your question, please, into the question section on your meeting control panel, and we'll see if we can answer them. So first question from Kathy: can I put the form on our website?
Yes is the answer. So what you do is you have that. So if I show this form in the folder, you can see here, I just upload this. I would suggest that you edit it first in some way to make it nice and neat. As my one that I created earlier, I've done some styles and added logos, etc. But yes, just upload it in the normal way. I have had many questions. I had a session yesterday actually with somebody that used a different web building tool. I think they used something called Wix. I'd never come across it myself, but often if you just do a little search on your web building tools for uploading custom web forms, is probably the best thing to search for. And I did it on that Wix one and found the information straight away. So generate, edit the form, and then upload it to be used.
Okay, right. The next question, which I think would be relevant to a lot of organizations, this is from Russ. We get a lot of spam registrations. How can we exclude them?
Okay, I guess that question comes to anybody using this system of how they would define the spam ones, the junk ones, that type of thing. You can put some tools within the web form itself, especially if you've got some of those web building tools, or you have a web developer, to make sure that I am human tick box, or some qualifying questions of some sort that would prevent that. But if they come in, we actually use this assign to put them in a queue, if you like, that need qualifying. So if somebody is checking these prior to giving them out to your team, perhaps, then you might use the queues to be able to check it first and then remove or mark it as rubbish, perhaps with the status down here, that type of thing, and then allocate them out to those people that need to react to them in a way that's useful. So really a qualifying process either at the web page level or in the system, and then as an administrator, all those flagged ones may be deleted on a regular basis, which is something you could do.
Yeah, okay.
Hopefully that answers that one.
Very relevant question. Thanks, Ross. Next question from Bruno. Our sales administrator gets all the new leads. How do we direct leads to her?
Well, I guess it's the same answer really. With this assigned to is ideal way here. So a couple of things. If you have queues, if you know about queues, they're in your landing pages here. So you can manage queues here. Now, if you have a queue in the system, if you generate the queue, so I've got this web leads queue, you can actually put subscribers in here that get notified when something's added to that queue. So the automation of what you're discussing there would be when a new lead is created, it's created with the assigned to as web lead, and whoever's in that web leads queue, who's registered in there as a user, they would get notification to say the normal kind of notification here or on an email saying new lead has been created. So ideal for that. And of course, you've got dashboards, reports, other landing pages that customize a landing page like this. So that person could check today's leads, react to them, and then assign them to whoever needs to take care of
them. Okay. Sandra, how do you score leads? I think we've got that lead scoring field on our...
Yeah, I think there's one down here on my sample one here, this lead score here. I guess the answer to this is however you would like to score them. This field is actually a report cell field, which is calculated on a report in the background. And I think on my sample one here, I've actually linked it to fields. So based on what location this is, what industry they're in. I think if I change this to a different industry, what's the lead score at the moment? 20. Let's change this to something other than that. Let's change this to manufacturing, save this, and I imagine the lead score will change. Yes, it's gone down a little bit because in my sample business here, I probably value a IT lead more than a manufacturing lead, for example. So you can build reports in the background based on any criteria that you'd like. So new lead comes in, have they had any activity left yet? Is a field X, Y, and Z filled in or not? And then rate those, and then just summarize them in a report, and then place that report cell on the screen. That's how certainly most people would approach that. But the definition of your lead scoring would be an internal thing. How do you define leads, and how do you weight that definition against good and bad, I guess.
Okay, well, there's no more questions, so thanks the four of you for those. So we'll wrap this up then, the Web to Lead feature in Workbooks. Thanks very much, those of you listening live. There's our contact details. If you've got any suggestions for future presentations, then please contact us, tim@wizard-systems.com or peter@wizard-systems.com. Thanks very much, those of you listening live. Catch up with all of our other Workbooks videos on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and Wizard Systems, all one word. But we'll catch up with you for another Workbooks topic the same time next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Thanks.